Hey guys, Miss Stewart here, and I wanted to do this quick little video because I've had a couple of questions from a couple of different groups about the lit review, and so I think that this quick little video can give you a little bit of helpful information on sort of how to guide your lit review. So if you guys remember back at the beginning of the semester, we talked about this particular project very briefly. And I mentioned that sort of the guiding framework for this particular project was going to be these 5 components that you see here on the screen. So this is page 40 in your textbook. And so essentially what you're going to do with your assignment is you're going to be looking at the significance, the pathophysiology, the descriptive epidemiology, the causes, and the evidence-based interventions for your specific chronic illness, whether it's obesity, whether it's diabetes, whichever one you were assigned. And so when you complete your lit review, as you are conducting that, it would be beneficial for you to find literature that discusses the significance of diabetes, or the pathophysiology of obesity, or the descriptive epidemiology of arthritis. So whatever your specific illness or disease is, I would focus my lit information on these 5 areas. So obviously you have to have a minimum of 8 lit sources. So most of you know that would probably be 8 peer-reviewed journals. You most certainly can have more. I would probably have, I would say 2 minimum from each of these 5. So 10 would be a good lit review, sort of an average for this size project. So, if you've got 4 people in the group, then you could split it up to where this person's going to do 2 to 3 lit reviews on a peer-reviewed journal article based on the significance of our specific chronic illness, and then someone else in the group is going to look at the pathophysiology of your specific topic, and so on and so forth. So I would focus my lit review on these 5 areas here, not just on general information, but again, what are the studies that have been done on evidence-based intervention when it comes to COPD. And so again, 8 is the minimum number of sources that you want to do a lit review. So a lit review, essentially you're doing 1 lit review, but that lit review will include 8 minimum peer-reviewed sources. And so your lit review itself that you will turn in is going to be 1 document, but it needs to include that minimum of 8 sources. Obviously it'd be easier if you just took all 5 and did 2 for each of the 5, so then you would have 10 sources there. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of direction, helps out some of the groups there to make sure that they are covering. And so these descriptive pieces here on the screen, these 5 areas, obviously are going to give you information about your specific disease. So for instance, if you look at within each chapter, the third, if we're looking at descriptive epidemiology, regardless of what your topic is, the 3rd section within that particular chapter provides an overview of the distribution. So obviously you want to make sure that you have read that particular piece and then go out and find literature that has been peer-reviewed on that specific area. So hopefully that gives you a little bit better direction on how to sort of narrow down your search when it comes to your lit review. And of course, as always, if you have further questions, don't hesitate to email me.